Hello, guys. My name's Eric Maples, and over the course of the last 6 weeks, I've had the opportunity to be able to study and learn more about the Nike Equality Campaign and the different and various rhetorical symbols, as well as the rhetorical communication that is found within the Nike Equality commercial, whether it was the athletes that are used in the commercial and their stance on social injustice, or whether it was the fields that the athletes are playing on during the course of the commercial. So let's get started. Just a little bit of background on the Nike Equality Campaign. It was launched in February of 2017 with the first commercial coming out on Martin Luther King Day. Various commercials have been added to the collection throughout the course of the last year or so. But the main commercial that Nike has focused on was the original one that was released in February of 2017. The Nike Equality Campaign includes activists from all different fields, as I stated earlier. Athletes in the Nike Equality Campaign include LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Serena Williams, and Megan Rapinoe, all of which have taken a stand and used their platform to stand up for social injustices that have affected them throughout the course of their life. Musicians also include Alicia Keys, and actors include Michael B. Jordan. The genre of the Nike Equality Campaign definitely falls under the cultural category. This is because Nike uses many different commercials and ads to portray their message. The actors within the commercials are able to use their platforms, as I stated earlier, to talk about a greater issue. For example, LeBron James and Kevin Durant have both used the platforms they built for themselves throughout the course of their NBA career to be able to talk about the injustices that Black young African American males face in a society that feels that it is stacked against them, as well as Megan Rapinoe, who is a Caucasian or white female who is also lesbian, who has used her platform from the U.S. women's national soccer team to stand up for LGBT rights. And then equality is something that is cultural because it does directly impact society as a whole, not just one specific target group. And the genre can also be described as cultural for the reasons that are also stated above. Over the course of the last 6 weeks, I've been able to look into the rhetorical situation, which includes ethos, logos, and pathos. What I was able to find for the rhetoric for the Nike Equality Campaign is Nike was persuading its audience who have taken a stance on social injustice as well as the inequality throughout the world through various images. The images that were used within the commercial that I dissected were basketball courts, soccer fields. They used the Supreme Court as well as many other different backgrounds. Who is being persuaded would be our logo. Anyone who has taken a stance on social injustice and inequality amongst each other is who is being persuaded, because anybody who feels that change needs to come can stand behind the equality campaign. And anyone who has ever felt as if they were discriminated against or felt they were not equal for any event or not just sports, based on factors that were not performance related. As I was saying, anyone who has ever felt as if they were discriminated against or felt they were not equal in any event, not just sports based on any factor that was not performance related. For example, they felt they were discriminated against for their color of their skin, the way that their hair is, the clothes that they're wearing, anything that's not based off of them being able to perform that certain task that was being asked. And the message, which is also our pathos and the what, is Nike uses no color within the commercial. They only use black and white. This is because there's no gray area when it comes to equality and social injustice. It's either right or wrong, black and white. And that equality is also something that we must practice on and off the field. Nike uses their platform of sports to be able to reach out to people, because sometimes when people feel that something is wrong or right, they don't listen to what they actually believe until they see someone that they look up to saying the same exact thing. So for LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and the various other athletes, they can get a following of people behind them that make the message grow. The rhetorical theory that I chose to apply to the Nike Equality Campaign was Kenneth Burke's theory. Burke had one main question that he asked for his theory, and that is, what are people doing and why are they doing it? How will we analyze that question? When we ask ourselves how we're going to analyze that question, there's 5 things that we need to consider. the act, scene, agent, agency, and purpose. If we can find all 5 of those things within our rhetorical theory, then we know that Kenneth Burke's theory can be applied, and we've answered our question, what are people doing and why are they doing it? So with Burke's theory applied to the Nike Equality Campaign, the act, which is described as what is being done and what is done, the Equality Campaign can be described as taking a stance for equality. It's the act of standing up for what you believe in, and the social injustices must come to a stop. The equality is the act of making sure that on and off the field, we make sure that everyone feels as if they are treated equal. The scene or where the act is taking place is our scene is taking place within basketball courts, soccer field, tennis courts, streets, and the football field. Nike is painting a picture to show that we are equals on and off the field. The agent can be described as who did it. There are multiple agents within the commercial, such as the only person that has a speaking part within the commercial is LeBron James. And while Michael B. Jordan and Alicia Keys are also agents, they are seen but do not have speaking sections. I believe this is for the reason that Nike is not trying to put one specific voice to the whole equality campaign, but to paint a picture that everybody has an equal voice. Just more of Burke's theory that is applied is the agency, and we asked ourselves, what did they do with this? Just as I stated earlier, Nike only uses black and white during the commercial, no color. This is the no gray area because there's no gray area in equality, only black and white. People of all shapes and sizes and ethnicities are used within the commercial to show that everyone is equal. And the purpose, we show that the purpose of the image. The purpose of the image is to shed light onto the fact that this is the day and age. The last thing we should see is how we are different, but what makes us the same. And we can use sports as something that makes us all the same. There's no logos that are used other than the Nike swoosh in the ad. I feel that this is to show that there is nothing else that's right other than equality. Of course, Nike is going to use their own logos within their ad, but I believe that nothing else was used to show that we are all the same. And that concludes my presentation.